All right, Canada, we need to talk because too many of us are in survival mode right now.
They're skipping meals. Not for fitness, not for faith, for money. They can't afford to eat.
If the cost at the grocery store has left a bad taste in your mouth, you're not alone.
Guys, Canada isn't just expensive anymore, it's straight up disrespectful. And you know what? Someone needs to say it.
All chicken prices are up 23% year to year. Ground beef is up almost 22% as well.
Why is this happening? What's going on, Canada?
76-year-old David Turner says he's been living, eating, and sleeping in his car.
In the last 2 decades, Canadian household debt has exploded to over 180% of disposable income.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're feeling squeezed by rising costs, watching your paycheck disappear the same day it hits your account, or wondering how the bills keep going up while your income stays the same, you are not alone. Across Canada, people are living in constant survival mode, choosing between groceries and rent, delaying dreams, and silently carrying stress that never shuts off. And the worst part, most of us think it's our fault, but it's not. The system is failing us. The cost of living is skyrocketing, wages are stuck, and everyday Canadians are paying the price with their health, their happiness, and their future. But here's the truth they don't want you to hear. You are stronger than this system. There are ways to take back control. There are ways to build multiple income streams. And there is a path to real financial freedom. Even in a country where everything feels out of reach right now. Today, we're talking about the real cost of living in Canada, how it's affecting millions, and how you can break out of the cycle before it breaks you.
All right, Canada, we need to talk because too many of us are in survival mode right now, living paycheck to paycheck, and this is not normal. Groceries are insane, gas is insane, rent is insane. And most families, we're just trying to keep our heads above water. I used to be right there, stressing every time I tapped my card, praying it wouldn't decline, and hoping that I could make it to the next paycheck. I was done feeling powerless and hopeless. So let me be crystal clear about what changed for me and what this is not. It's not MLM. It's not one of those spammy message your friends and family kind of schemes. You don't have to chase, you don't have to recruit, and you don't have to harass. You're tired of feeling stuck, tired of being scared, then maybe it's time to try something different. If you want me to show you exactly what I'm doing, drop me the word info in the comments or DM me info, and I will give you all the details. No hype, no bullshit, just real truth.
What's one thing that makes it not worth living here?
Immigration, cost of living.
Wait, why immigration?
Let's take care of our own first. If I come to your house, I'm a guest in your house, I follow your rules. You don't come to my house and put your rules on me.
Yeah.
So that's a big no-no.
Prices of like homes. I grew up here. It's sad to see like people like move out of Vancouver because the city has become so much more unaffordable.
Nearly all of Canada's recent growth has been tied to one thing: housing and debt, not productivity. In the last 2 decades, Canadian household debt has exploded to over 180% of disposable income. That is the highest ratio in the developed world. Real estate now represents almost 15% of national GDP compared to, say, about 6% in the US. This means Canada's economy is increasingly dependent on people borrowing money to buy houses they can no longer afford. The housing crisis is Canada's defining problem.
Since when does it cost $10 for a brick of butter? It was nearly $10 at Costco yesterday. I just checked the Flip app, just out of curiosity. It is, I think, showing $7.89 at Safeway and other places like a Safeway, but it's on sale this week. If you're on the hunt for butter for holiday baking, because Santa needs his cookies, it is $6.99 for a brick of butter there. Still expensive, but it's a lot better than $10, I guess. The cost of groceries is crazy these days, right?
Week, Rich. Here you go.
Appreciate it, boss.
Ooh, that's a sight. You earned every cent.
Feels good. Drinks on me tonight.
Just don't be late Monday.
You got it. This will get me through. Thanks again. You know the drill.
Rich!
Rich, stop! Don't get in the car. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Paperwork said we missed a few
Deductions.
Yeah?
EI, CPP, and whatever that new thing is, we still don't understand. Yeah.
All right, that comes to $457.80.
For what?
Yeah, prices went up again. They don't tell us why anymore. Thank you.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, jumped again this morning.
Of course it did.
Hey, rent's due today.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks. Tough month for everyone.
Guys, Canada isn't just expensive anymore, it's straight up disrespectful. And you know what? Someone needs to say it. Rent feels like you're paying a mortgage for a mansion that you're never gonna own. And utility prices jump every month like they're training for the fucking Olympics. Let's be real. And then they have the nerve to say, well, you just gotta, budget better. Budget what? We're budgeting on hope at this point. People are working and still choosing whether to pay a bill or put groceries on the table. Parents skipping meals so that their kids can eat. Seniors living on vibes and a prayer. And the rest of us are one paycheck away from a full-blown crisis. This is not normal, this is survival. And it's breaking people quietly. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the reality of Canada. So if you're new here, my name is Trish from Alberta, Canada. I'm a 42-year-old stay-at-home mom who recently was laid off. And I've been where you are, feeling tired and stressed and overwhelmed by everything that's going on in the world right now, especially grocery prices, inflation, you name it. I know. I feel that too. Imagine a life where you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine when you get that utility bill and it doesn't cause you to have anxiety, or how am I going to pay this month? Where you actually get to live and not just survive. Does that sound like a dream? Yeah, it does. But here's the truth. There is a way that you can take control of it. Stay at home with your kids, be a yes mom, maybe take that family vacation. So if you're finally ready to stop playing defense and take control, I've got a free resource in my bio. Click the link, input your information, and get the resource, and you can see what it is that I'm doing, and it works. Because surviving isn't enough anymore. We need to start living, you guys. This is not the life that I thought I was going to grow up and have kids. Like, it is insane. Insane. And if you're ready for that shift, comment I'm ready, and let's get to work. We don't have to stay stuck anymore. We don't have to stay stuck anymore.
So, Canada is officially heating up right now because people across the country are hitting the streets saying one thing loud and clear. Enough is enough. Canadians want job priority. And honestly, this didn't come out of thin air. People are fed up. The cost of living is up. Rent is up. Groceries are up. Wages? Still stuck in 2015. And for months, Canadians have been watching companies lay off local workers while bringing in cheaper labor through temporary programs. And now folks are like, why can't we get hired in our own country? This is especially hitting young workers, new grads, and lower-income families who say they're getting pushed out of the job market completely. Protesters are demanding the government fix the hiring system, tighten labor rules, and make sure employers actually give Canadians a chance before going outside the country. Meanwhile, unions have been warning about this for years, saying companies are abusing the temporary foreign worker system to avoid paying fair wages. And now the public is reacting exactly how you'd expect. This is frustration boiling over. This is cost of living pressure exploding. And this is a sign that people are done staying quiet. And trust me, this movement is not slowing down anytime soon. I'll keep you updated as this story keeps unfolding.
If the cost at the grocery store has left a bad taste in your mouth, you're not alone. You're getting used to the high prices.
Yeah. Fact of life, I guess.
Food price experts say those looking for a deal in the aisles are quickly learning that at the moment, there's really no safe place inside a Canadian grocery store. This month's inflation report found that food prices in October rose by 3.4%, down from a 4% spike in September. So as of right now, any incremental decrease in food inflation on a month-to-month basis isn't being felt by Canadians.
Because the challenge that we have with food inflation right now is that it remains way above general inflation.
Leading the way when it comes to the priciest pickings at your local grocer, the meat counter.
2 chicken breasts, it used to be like $7, now it's like 15, $20 for 2 little chicken breasts, right?
All chicken prices are up 23% year to year. Ground beef is up almost 22% as well. Proteins in general is almost 40% of all the money you spend at the grocery store.
I'm fuming right now, and I gotta talk about it. Let's stop pretending that an 87-cent raise in Canadian healthcare isn't a slap in the face. It's not a pat on the back. It's certainly not progress. It is literally a punch to the fucking face. We're quite literally out here holding a collapsing system together, and the big reward that we should be jumping for joy about is fucking pocket change. Literal cushion money. While everything in this country keeps climbing, groceries, rent, gas, basic survival, every bill keeps going up, except our wages. And somehow we're expected to smile because we got something. No. Your healthcare workers aren't asking for miracles. We're asking not to drown. We're asking to keep up with the cost of living, of being in Canada. We're asking for pay that reflects the responsibility of keeping people breathing, stable, safe, and alive. And spare me the whole, like, it compounds over time. Pennies don't fix burnout. Pennies don't fix staffing shortages. Pennies don't fix a system that is running on fucking fumes. And I'm sorry, I can't imagine how hard it is to be at that table with that bargaining committee, but that table knows damn well that this isn't enough. And they know that it won't keep people in healthcare. They know it won't improve retention. They know that it won't touch the financial reality that we are all living in. Not just healthcare, Canadians. This isn't a raise. It's actually an insult. And it's a reminder just how disconnected the decision makers are from the people who actually do the work. And if this makes people uncomfortable, good, because we're well past the point of being polite about it. That is all. Have the day you deserve.
Good morning, TikTok. Here I am in a Canadian grocery store in Edmonton, and I got to pick up some coffee. It's early morning. Share with you guys just some of the prices. We pay $11.99 for a little can of 300 grams. Not even. They've dropped it down to $2.72. And then we move our way along. We see that a regular can of coffee for Canadian prices, $24.99. That used to be $12 about 8 months ago. So, can you imagine? Look at that. $340 for $11. Now here's my Tossimos, which are on sale, which is kind of a good price, but for the 16s, for this one is the shittier coffee. You get 16 discs. That one you get 14 discs for $11. So that's 14 cups of coffee for $12. That's almost $1 a cup. It's getting out of control. But because I love coffee so much, I am going to have to spend $25 because I have no choice. So anyway, food for thought. Why is this happening? What's going on, Canada? When are you guys going to stand up for yourselves? I need your help. I can't do this alone. You guys, you know what to do. Start complaining. Tell your local mayors and your provincial leaders this isn't right. And if you're in Alberta, get ready for separating.
A home sweet home.
For more than 2 months, 76-year-old David Turner says he's been living, eating, and sleeping in his car.
The expense of everything is just crazy.
On good days, he drives to the Charlottetown Marina to greet tourists.
Welcome to PEI, sir.
Turner says his debt mounted, and after a couple months behind on rent, his landlord evicted him. Still, he feels more fortunate than others because he has a pension. It helps, but not enough to rent right now.
Seniors are struggling because of the cost of living, the cost of rent, the lack of affordable housing.
Seniors 65 and older made up nearly 5% of users at emergency shelters like this one behind me last year. That's up from 3.3% in 2000.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people living in the Atlantic in Canada have poverty-level living standards? And it's higher than any other region in Canada. Of course, nobody wants this for anyone in Canada, and it shouldn't exist in our country. Why is it that Canada could spend $1.1 billion housing asylum seekers in our country, and then set aside another $1.1 billion in the 2024 budget for more housing for asylum seekers? It would put them up in hotel rooms, facilities where they house asylum seekers with mental health services on site. At what point is enough and we start taking care of our own? This is a gentleman who's worked his whole life, paid taxes his whole life, and is now out on the street. But yet we have enough funding to house people who have never paid a single dollar in tax in our country. Someone please make that make sense. It's insane.
Well, we begin this hour with breaking news on the cost of living crisis. A new report just into our newsroom is revealing how much more Canadians are paying for food. Well, if this feels familiar to you, you're not alone. Walk in the aisles of your local grocery store, carefully picking produce and trying to stick to a budget. But you can't escape the high price pinch. You might be feeling like you're shelling out hundreds of dollars more for food than last year. And it turns out you're right. This is some serious sticker shock right here. Canada's Food Price Report 2025 estimates the average family of 4 will spend more than $800 more on food this year in comparison to what they spent in 2024. And the receipts don't end there. Mark Carcassol is on the story for us, and I know you've been digging into some of the big findings here. What can you tell us about what we're going to be paying at the grocery checkout?
We've already been worried for years, Linda, about food insecurity across this country, across the world, really, and this report only shows that there is more reason to worry, increasing reason to worry. Of course, it's all subjective to how much you make, what your various family debts are, but the fact remains that food prices are going up and up and up. As we look at some of the specific numbers, overall food prices by the end of this year are expected to have risen by 3 to 5% over last year. The average family of 4 is expected to spend $16,833.67 on food by the end of 2025. That is up, as Linda just mentioned, just over $800 from 2024.
Here's something I've started to notice, and I wish I hadn't. Hunger. Not famine, not the kind that happens far away in somebody else's moral geography, but the local, ordinary kind. The Canadian kind. People my age, people with degrees and jobs and decent grammar, are telling me they're skipping meals. Not for fitness, not for faith, for money. They can't afford to eat. I can't either some days. The fridge is an echo chamber. You learn to time your hunger to your bank balance. I tell myself I'm intermittent fasting. Really, I'm just broke. I'm lucky in one sense I have family who help, but even they are strained now. It's become a national sport, this private juggling of who helps whom survive another week. The rich are fine, of course. They're always fine. And the government seems content to treat our collective malnutrition as a kind of character-building exercise. Since COVID, we've all been living in the aftermath of the great economic adjustment. Prices have exploded like popcorn. Wages, like a sulky teenager, refuse to move. Jobs today pay roughly what they did when I finished university, except everything costs double. We've achieved a kind of anti-progress. The more you look, the less you have, and yet, from the marble lips of economists, we're told that to keep life affordable, pay must stay low. Affordable for whom exactly? Walk into a grocery store and you'll see what I mean. Every aisle is a battlefield. You do mental math over cans of beans. You make humiliating decisions in public to put back the bread or the butter. And every month, the price stickers advance like enemy troops. I'm old enough to remember when the price of a tomato wasn't a philosophical question. In Canada, we like to pretend we're immune to this kind of thing, that hunger is an American disease. But the numbers tell a different story. Food banks, Canada reports, usage has nearly doubled since 2019. More and more of the people lining up for those boxes of near-expired pasta are employed. They work full-time, pay taxes, and still can't afford dinner. That's not a recession, that's a system failure. Meanwhile, rent has become an extortion racket with a civic license. The first half of your paycheck goes to your landlord, the second to Hydro, and the remainder to the grocery store. Which takes it with a smirk, of course. Food or heat, that's the new binary. We used to laugh at Victorian novels where the heroine fainted from hunger. Now we just scroll past TikToks of people doing the same thing in Scarborough. South of the border, the pattern repeats with American gusto. During COVID, emergency aid briefly lowered hunger levels to record lows. It was proof that government intervention, for once, worked. And then, as soon as the data looked too good, they stopped doing it. Hunger came roaring back. The logic was classic neoliberalism. The market will sort it out. The market, of course, has no stomach. It digests people just fine. The orthodoxy of the last 40 years, deregulate, privatize, pray, has turned hunger into a management problem. Food is treated like a consumer good, wages like a suggestion, and poverty like a personal failure. Charity picks up the scraps. Food banks were meant to be temporary. They become permanent architecture, monuments to a broken economy. The irony is obscene. In the richest nations on earth, we built a parallel welfare state out of tin cans and volunteer hours. I don't believe lobbying will fix this. The political class is serenely insulated from the problem. Their grocery bills are reimbursed, their meals expensed. They'll tell you they're monitoring the situation, as though hunger were a weather pattern. What are we to do? March on Loblaws? The truth is, no one's coming to save us, so we'll have to feed ourselves, won't we? Literally. That might mean neighborhood food co-ops run by the people who buy from them, selling at cost and refusing to play capitalism's little pricing games. Or public kitchens. 1 free meal a day, no paperwork, no shame. The infrastructure is already there, schools, churches, community halls. It would cost less than 1 fighter jet. Or maybe we need a job guarantee that includes growing and cooking food. Pay people to feed people. The economics of it are embarrassingly obvious. I've seen small rebellions that work. In one apartment block I know, 10 tenants pool their grocery money and buy staples in bulk. Rice, beans, lentils. Socialism in a tote bag. It's not glamorous, but it's proof that cooperation still exists beneath the capitalist frost. These acts won't topple the system, but they puncture it, letting a little air back into the room. The phrase food insecurity is bureaucratic cowardice. It means hunger, and hunger is degrading. It turns you into a creature of calculation, timing your next meal like a junkie waiting for a fix. It makes you stupid, fogged, ashamed. And it shouldn't exist here, not in a country that can build condos for ghosts and pipelines to nowhere. This isn't just an economic crisis, it's a moral one. We've mistaken efficiency for virtue. We built an economy that treats survival as a luxury item, and we're supposed to call it progress. But a society that can't feed its workers isn't rich. It's decadent. I don't want a handout. I want a world that adds up, where labor equals livelihood, where you don't have to turn hunger into a personality trait. Maybe the answer isn't waiting for policy, but changing what we value. cooperation over profit, sustenance over speculation. For now, I keep writing, keep thinking, and yes, sometimes keep skipping dinner. It's hard to concentrate on solutions when your stomach's growling, but perhaps that sound is also a kind of protest. The body reminding the system that it still exists.
The reality is this: Canada has become one of the hardest countries in the world to get ahead in. But that does not mean your future is cancelled. Yes, the struggle is real. Yes, living paycheck to paycheck is exhausting. Yes, the pressure of rising rents, groceries, gas, debt, it wears you down. But that pressure doesn't define you. It doesn't limit you. And it doesn't get the final say in your story. Right now, millions of Canadians are waking up to the same truth. If we don't build our own path, nobody is going to build it for us. That's why learning new skills, building side incomes, improving financial literacy, and stepping into the digital economy is no longer optional. It's survival. But it's also opportunity, because the same system that's crushing us is also creating an entire generation of Canadians who refuse to give up, who refuse to settle, and who refuse to let this crisis decide their future. And if you're watching this, you are already part of that group. I want you to remember this. You are not behind, you are not a failure, you are not alone, and you are not stuck. Even in a broken economy, people are building second incomes, paying off debt, starting small side businesses, and taking back their power one step at a time, and so can you. So if this message hit you, if you're tired of struggling, if you're ready to take control instead of waiting for the government to fix what they broke, stay with us. This channel is here to help you understand the system and then beat the system. One video at a time. Like the video, share it so more Canadians wake up, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. Because together, we're building a future nobody can take away from us. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, your comeback starts now.